It's important to understand what bile does once you can picture, because we don't know what our insides look like. We don't do enough education on that. And so we don't really know what's going on. So when a doctor says, take this for this, we don't have anything to like reference of what that would mean. And so let me just explain something. So when I talked about acid and alkaline, acid means that your pH is low. A low number means something's very acidic. And so your mouth is not acidic, right? You would know that. That would not be good. Your mouth is alkaline, and it needs to be. So when you're eating like oatmeal or something, that's why it's important to really chew your food, because your saliva is alkaline, and that helps to pre-digest certain things. So one thing would be like, starches and carbohydrates. And so your mouth is alkaline. You got alkalinity all here. And when you get to your stomach, the first part of your stomach, now it starts to get a little more acidic. And the bottom part, I'll just say top and bottom. I've never seen a stomach, but the bottom part is more acidic. You need to have your stomach acidic, because if it's not, a bacteria is going to get in there. It's going to go through, because the acidity helps to keep things at bay. Right. And it's a perfect design, because when you're eating things, if you're eating bugs on accident, or I don't know, fungus and stuff, your body is designed so it will say, oh no, hell no, that's not going in there. And so we're going to kill that off with the very high acid. So like pH of like 1 to 4. So that's the bottom part of your stomach. So food moves down there. Now, when let's say you're eating a steak and it's moving around in there, and your stomach's like, okay, we're trying to digest this. And let's say you have a proper pH, or let's say you're taking hydrochloric acid pills, which I think most people should do. And so that way your stomach acid, it has enough power. Okay. It has to have power. So after that, this out of the stomach, there's about 10 inches. It's called the duodenum. We've heard of the duodenum before, and that's what that is. And so when things go into the duodenum as acidic, that's not supposed to be in your gut. So that's where the bile comes in. And so your body is triggered to make the bile, says, oh yeah, we're going to need some bile in there. It gets to the duodenum to alkalize it. So when you take bile salts, all that's doing is helping that first part of the small intestine to be alkaline. If it's not, and it's acid, let's say you're not producing enough bile, and that food moves through, you're going to damage your gut, and you're going to have all kinds of gut issues. And I think that's where a lot of people are at. The acid alkaline balance has to be right. So let's just say you're not making enough stomach acid. Maybe it's you're stressed out all the time. Maybe it's just that it's not going to work. Right. Or if you're talking about, you want to digest your fats, because bile not only alkalizes the food, it also is there to emulsify fat. So if you have oil, let's say you drink a bunch of oil, you have some fat. Like, what does your body do with that? Like, it can't use it like that. It has to break it down. It's almost like a soap. Like, so when you have a greasy pan, you got to get that soap on there to break that up. Right. And so it becomes liquefied, and then you can get off the pan. It's the same thing when you eat stuff. So the bile emulsifies it, puts it in little tiny pieces so your body can actually use it. So what you do is, and this all has to be timed, unfortunately, say I'm eating a steak. I take my hydrochloric acid, I eat my steak, and I wait. I wait about an hour and a half, maybe 2 at the most. Then you take a bile salt. Hopefully the meat, the bolus of food is now in your duodenum. Then you take the pill, and that will get right in there. You don't want to take it with your meats, with your hydrochloric acid, because you have an acid pill and you have an alkaline thing, and it's cancel each other out. So the bile salts you want to take but an hour and a half after. Let's say you're eating Culver's custard, right? You don't have to wait an hour and a half. Then I would probably take a bile salt half an hour later, because that's going to move right through. Because the bile salts, they have a number of things that they do, but one of the things they do is they emulsify the fat, so you can actually use the nutrients. If your liver and gallbladder are clogged up, which if you've never done a liver flush, I guarantee it is, then it's probably not being able to get there. And so, yes, you probably need that. If you focus on your gut and your gut health, that's like the first thing. It will affect your whole life.